What's up, guys? I am Mike, and should you spend your hard-earned money to go see Clown in a Cornfield this weekend? Those are two very different experiences. Your weekend could go very differently depending on which one of those you do. But this is based on a book series. It's weird because you could call this gateway horror, and I feel like that is a way overused term. And sometimes movies that just kind of suck will be like, "No, it wasn't scary because it's supposed to be gateway horror," when in all actuality, it's just terrible bubblegum crap. This movie, though, is rated R. You see a horror movie, even gateway horror, you should feel like you're doing something a little bit dangerous, right? There should be a little bit of wrong in there. And that's kind of what this movie is. It does have deaths in it. It does have cursing in it. It does have references to drinking and sex and all that stuff like that. But it doesn't really hone in on any of those specific things too much at all. Even the gore. There is gore, yes, but the kills are semi-quick, decently enough inventive for the most part. They're fine. The best way I can explain this movie to you is Fear Street. The Fear Street movies that we got on Netflix a couple years ago, the trilogy, this is exactly in tune with all of that. I mean, exactly. From the quality level, the way they handle their R rating and their kills, maybe Fear Street got a little bit more gory here and there, but for the most part, that's kind of what this is. And it's a slasher movie featuring a clown killing people in a small town in a cornfield, literally, but there's a lot of stuff that's attached to that, a lot of world building and stuff. Some of it pretty cool. Predictable, it was predictable, but you can see that this is based on a series of books, and you could see them expanding this into a franchise for sure, and that's cool. But it's well oiled, but it's also a little paint by numbers. You know, they never really do anything that new with it. You know, one thing I do like about modern horror is that slasher movies have realized that, hey, the teenagers don't all have to be annoying douchebags. We can make some of them likable. That way you care about them when they die, or at least are entertained by them. You don't have to make us hate this person for us to enjoy you killing them. And I feel like modern horror's done a way better job of that. Now I'm going to say something not great about modern horror, and it's going to annoy people even more because, yeah, I'm going to bring up Scream, okay? When you watch certain monologues and performances in a movie like Scream, you're seeing people, like, in a lot of cases, who are very passionate about their craft, who are showing a lot of passion on screen, who are chewing the scenery and really, like, going after it, really getting after it in movies like that. This movie and a lot of movies like it kind of feels like they're just going through the numbers. Like, there's a couple monologues or things like that where a character will be really pleading their case, and it's just it kind of feels like they're reading another character's lines from a book, which literally they are. But that is the one thing that I will say keeps this movie, which is the 7.5 out of 10 for me, from being truly great, is that it doesn't really go there with anything. It just kind of unfolds in front of you, and it's just kind of like, you know, it's rated R, but it's PG-13 at its core, to be honest with you. And that's all fine and well. I think it did exactly what it set out to do and what it's supposed to be, which is this sort of youth adultish kind of horror novel that they brought to screen, and in a good way. And it's made by the director of Dale and Tucker, right? Killing Darren. What the hell's the name of that movie? Dale vs. Tucker, the Resident Evil of my nipples. What the fuck is it? Dale and Tucker. Tucker and Dale. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I'm having a stroke right now. Everybody loves that movie, right? And this is made by that director. And I feel like halfway through, he hits his comedic stride, and there's some pretty funny moments that are never too silly that'll take you out of the film. Like when I watched Hard Eyes, there was one point that really took me out where they trip and fall, and they're just laying there like cracking jokes while the killer's behind them, and all of a sudden the killer's just no longer scary at all. This director gets that he can make those jokes and crack them in an almost meta way, make the audience laugh, and never takes the tension out from those moments. And that being said, the movie's not scary. It's not a scary movie by any means. Maybe if it's your first horror film, going back to that gateway horror film. So it's never really scary, but it's entertaining, and it all fits. It all displays itself on the screen splendidly. It's just, there's nothing super special about it either. So that's the best way I can explain Clown in a Cornfield. Literally the Fear Street trilogy. It fits right in with that tone, quality, content, and everything. I do wish they had a little bit more of a budget. It's not that it looked low budget. It's just that I would have liked some scenes to be extended. And again, there's some great jokes cracked and some cool moments like that. But sometimes with the kills, it feels a little, okay, well, we can't really get into that too much. And it just kind of happens. None of it looks bad, except for maybe a couple shots in the beginning. In the cornfield, it's so dark, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. So I think I'd love to see this entire project complete, and I think it's going to be a fun little, again, like, you know, a little youth novel adult section, like with like 4 movies and like a box set of a cool little story, like a Hunger Games-esque kind of thing, but for slasher movies. And I think they nailed that here. So if you're down for an entertaining slasher movie that doesn't really feel like it's trying to be too nostalgic, you know, it doesn't really feel like it's trying to do this or that, it just kind of happens, and you can watch it and you can enjoy it and just go home, then Clown in a Cornfield could be a good time for you. Just don't expect to be scared, and don't expect to be super wowed by anything you see. It's just kind of, it's there, and it's a good time. And that's fine. I had a good enough time. 7.5 out of 10. Hey, if you're on Patreon or YouTube membership, we are having a Patreon party live tonight. It's going to get weird at 8 p.m. Eastern, so you can click join in the description box below or join on Patreon in the pinned comment. And again, look forward to that spoiler review and book thing coming in soon. I love your fucking faces. Hope you... Oh, by the way, I do got to say one more thing. Katie Douglas, the lead in this, she's fantastic. She's great. And I think we're in a really good point in horror right now with Catherine Newton, Samara Weaving, and all these names. Leading ladies in horror, scream queens. They just keep coming. Like, we keep getting great ones. And she's awesome. She's super likable. I think she's going to have a long career. And yeah, now I'm done. See you guys.